Hi. Honestly, I need a drink, and I mean an alcoholic drink. It has been one of those weeks. I'm just gonna have to put it out there. This has probably been, and I am not even exaggerating at this point, the worst week of my life. And anybody who knows me that is watching, they will know exactly which week I'm talking about. Yes, I have tried to film this week. Why? But yes. And to top it all off, I'm just going to show you what has just happened. So, as we know, I like to film me doing the makeup, then I'll film my afterthoughts, say thank you, blah, 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 and then I'll film my intro. So, this is me now at the very, very end of what is a very, very stressful week. I've just done my makeup. I go to put my lovely palette away. My tripod has just flung itself, for honestly no reason, onto my palette. Look at the damage. Look at the damage it has done. That is my phone and the tripod that has just crashed into my palette. So I was supposed to be here saying, hi guys, we're going to be playing with the Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette. And it's broken. So I can't even give you like a nice close-up of some really perfect looking eyeshadows because there's a big dint in these two. But yes, this is what we are doing today. I'm sorry, I really needed to get that off my chest. Honestly, after this, I'm going to rub all this off. I'm going to get pissed and I'm going to sit in my hot tub. That's all I'm going to do. Will I even turn up for work tomorrow? At this point, who knows? So yes, we are going to be playing with this. I'm going to be creating this eye look. And if any of that seems even remotely what you would like to watch, honestly, I'm not sad in this video. I have tried. It's just me now. But yes, if you would like to see how I get this look, how the palette performs, what I think of it, then stay tuned. So obviously you've just seen my disaster of an intro, but I thought I would just bob in and give you like a quick look of the palette if you guys haven't seen it. But this is it, the Made by Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette, and this palette is so lovely. Like, look at the artwork, on the time and energy that's gone into that is just fab. And then we open it up, you've got your big mirror that I don't really want to show you because you'll see all my setup. And these are the colours that we have. So this is just like a little, I'm just going to show you like the colour story just so you're aware. So we've got like some pastel shades in here. We've got some darker, more vibrant colour shades. The shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. We've got some deep dark shades just in case you want to like darken anything up in your looks. And I was thinking of what to create for this. The layout, I'm not 100% happy with the layout for me because I am still like learning and still like I still need help. I do prefer a palette where the colour story is in like the rows so I can see what colours are supposed to be where. So like me, I would have put the red going into orange, going into yellow, like that sort of thing, like the colours that'll blend into each other nicely and lead on. But obviously Mitchell is a makeup artist, he knows what he's doing, so he's not going to do that. That's just me crying because I wish I could do that. The colours are really, really nice. There's some really like interesting colours in here that I don't have like in my other palettes. As I say, I did want maybe a few darker colours, but these, you can darken up your colours with these two. So that again, it's just me being picky. So yes, this is the palette and we'll get into the tutorial. So as you can see, I've already done the one eye. I'm going for like a sunset spotlight sort of vibe. And I've just done the one eye first so I know exactly what I'm doing, so then when I'm talking you through this one I'm not like, oh, I'm stuck, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is so I can be on point. So first of all, I'm going to go in with my deepest shade to draw out this spotlight. I'm taking the shades Shepherd's Delight and Dusk, which are these two browns here. So I'm going to be taking them on a E42 Precision Firm Blender Sigma brush, which is just like a small but quite densely pointed brush, and that is like these bits here and like this roundedness, so that's going to go like straight there and all around the socket. And these shadows are really, really pigmented, as you can see. So they are really, really nice like to work with. And because I've done that first eye first, I can see like exactly where it needs to sort of go up to. So I'm just patting first of all to get my colour down. So I'm just packing and patting. And then what I'm going to do is go and blend those edges out once I'm happy with how intense that darkest colour is. So as you can see, it's like here, so I've got it around here. So again, I'll just go around on this eye and then blending out those edges. So then when I put my next colour down, it's a nice seamless blend. So now I've packed that colour on, I'm going to go in with my next shade, this pinky reddy shade here. And I'm just going to put that on a Real Techniques Essential Crease brush, which is like this shape. So I'm packing that on and just going over those like outer edges of where those browns are. So as I tap into the palette, you can see like the kickback coming off. So there's kickback in the palette, but there's not actually any like fallout on my face, which I am fine with. Like kickback in the palette normally is like when something's really, really like an eyeshadow is really, really pigmented, so that's absolutely fine by me. Like as long as it's not falling like all over my face, gonna make a mess, I'm not too fussed. I won't be too bothered anyway, because normally I would do my eyes before I do my face, just because I like to take that sort of safety step. So now I've put that colour on, I'm gonna go in with this, a mix of this orange here, which is Sunburn, and Marmalade, which is this other orange at the bottom. Sorry, Marmalade. And I'm going to take this on a Morphe M433 brush, just like a fluffy flat brush, and that is going to go over the edge of that. And you only need like a really, really light pressure with when you putting these shadows down. Sometimes you can be a little bit too hard with your shadows, I think, like when you're placing them down, and it can sort of like tend to make the eyeshadows a little bit like they sort of skip sometimes. So it is just, you do only need like a really, really light pressure. And I'm just gonna blend in to make sure that everything's nice and seamless. And then for the final bit, I'm going to go in with a mix of that Marmalade orange here and the Banana Skies, which is the very, very pale yellow in the palette. So just taking a mix of them, and that is going on the outer of the eye here. So obviously it's already touching my brow bone, so I am going to like just run it over. It's already touching my eyebrow here, is the other colours, but that's fine. I'll just run it slightly over, and then more so here at the tail of my brow. And then I'm also going to take it round here near my nose and like my inner corner. So running that there. And then just that Banana Skies on its own, I am going to place like at the very, very, very edge. And there, we're nearly there. See, I don't mind eyeshadows going like right up to my brows, because it just means I can fit more in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm already like pretty alright with the brown still. I'm just going to go back and re-intensify maybe like the other colours. So this like reddish shade, go back and just make sure that that's still standing out. So as you know, when I do any sort of cut crease or spotlight art, anything like that, I always do take a cotton bud with some micellar water on and just get rid of like where I want to cut. So I'm going to do that now and just get rid of where I want to put my spotlight shimmer shades. It's when you take this out now where you can see if you need to go in darker. Like I know for a fact that now that I've taken this off, that needs to be a hell of a lot darker to match this eye, which is fine because we can do that once we've cut the crease. So as you can see, I've taken off what I feel like I needed to take off there, and I'm just going in with some P. Louise base on the back of my hand, and I'm going to cut that there. And again, because I go on with it at the back of my hand, I can go like this to make it nice and sharp, and then just use that to stamp on a really sharp cut crease shape. And I'm doing this, sorry, with the Sigma Cut Crease E62 brush. And I'm just going to check that that is the right shape, the right height. Maybe a little tiny bit higher in the middle. But yeah, that's down now, and I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is just take any... Well, no, in fact, I'll take my finger and just pat out the edge of that P. Louise base. So then when I go in to darken these up again, there's no like... Sometimes if you have an edge to your base, like a thick edge to your base, it can make like the blend on there go a bit funny. So yep, I feel like that is looking quite good. So now for the shimmer, I'm going to go in with Soda Skies, which is the purple, like the light purple shimmer, and I'm just going to take any sort of like flat brush and I'm just going to glide that all the way down that lid, all over, all where I've put that base, and then right up to the edge where that base is too, where I've cut. Lovely. And then I'm just going to go slightly over as well to just blend it in with that inner corner there and the outer corner there. And then with another flat brush, I'm going to spray my brush just to get it a little bit wet, because I am going to go over the top of a shimmer with another shimmer. And I'm going to take the colour Clouded, which is like this white sort of silvery colour. Pack that on my brush, and that is going to go straight down the middle to just add a little bit more 3-dimension to that lid. And looking at it now, I might even want a bit more of that silver colour on the other eye too. This is the beauty of doing like one eye at a time. You can just like start comparing and seeing what you want to mix up a bit. So if you're doing both eyes at the same time, sometimes you get a bit like flustered, like, ugh. You've got too much to try and correct at once, I find anyway. So if anybody struggles with like the eyeshadows and making sure that they're even and things like that, do honestly try just doing the one eye first and then the other eye. I'm just going in and making sure that that is exactly how I want it. And then to really deepen up that the outer and the inner corner, I'm actually going to go in with this dark, like grey, blacky sort of colour. It's kind of like grey, blacky, a hint of purple, and just a smidge of that. And I don't go in with this first, because sometimes if you go in with like your deepest colour, which is black, you can really just, everything looks black. Whereas just a tiny little bit at the end just changes the tone of whatever colour you've put down. So like this brown, I added it here and it's turned it into a darker brown instead of just black. So I'm just going to do that here on the very, very, very outer corner. There. Can you see the difference like already of that corner to there? Again, just adding a little bit more 3-dimension to the look. And then I can see obviously now that like this, right above this eye, the cut crease needs to be a lot darker to match this one. So I'm going in with those like reddy browny shades and I'm just gonna intensify that up. And again, those reddy browny shades can also be dragged in there to just help with the blend of that. And maybe even a tiny smidge of that night shift sort of blacky colour just over there. Just over the top of that. And then blend it out with that like reddy colour that we first went in with. To just make sure that everything is looking blended. And then to neaten up this upper cut of the crease, you can always go in, I go in with like a sort of like a flattish thin brush. And you can literally just draw around that cut with like the darkest shade sort of thing. So I'm just going in with that like reddy, that reddy browny colour that was our deepest shade that we put down first. And just going around that to make sure that that looks nice and well cut. So as you can see, I think I'm at a place where I'm happy with it now. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back to show you the final look and give you some thoughts on the palette. So guys, here we have the finished look. What do we think? I'm actually really, really happy with this. The palette performed really, really well. I was impressed with the colours, I was impressed with the formula, I was impressed with the shimmers. The only thing I will say is that when I was doing like this eye, I don't know if it's my eye in particular, I have, and I always have had, a little tiny dry patch on the edge of this eye, and I don't know if you can see, but there was just a tiny little issue with blending out this, like the darkest, that sort of like blacky colour with the browns. But honestly, like that was it, and I experienced that with 99% of palettes. Like the only ones that I don't experience it on is the Be Perfect palettes, and that is it. Like I experience it on every single other palette that I own. So honestly, like that is no issue to me because I know that it's just one of those things. But honestly, I really, really like the palette, and I think you can create so many looks with the colours in there. I would have liked maybe a deeper colour in there, but because you have that black, and if you use it so sparingly, you can just change the tone of any colour. You don't really need a darker one. It's just, I'm a little bit picky sometimes, but honestly, that is it. And combined, if you have the Head in the Clouds palette and the Feet on the Ground palette, really you're laughing because you have every colour that you need. So really, that's not even a con to this palette, that's just me being like super extra picky. But yes, thank you for watching. Comment below if you've got the palette, what you've made. Tag me in things on Instagram. Like, tag me in your looks. I love inspo. Like, I'm a sucker for inspo. Tag me in your looks. If you've recreated anything that I've done, if you're liking any products, honestly, I just want this to be like a big share point. I want us all to be able to be like, try this, do this, I like this, everything. So yes, stay safe, stay well, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.